I'm Nourhan, and I'm a forensic anthropologist. I study human remains, bones, and skeletons. I was out one day in the Cascade Mountains when I found a very old skeleton. So hidden and covered, it was a surprise I noticed it. We spent days trying to get it out of its untidiness. Where is the skull, my teammate wondered. Where is the skull, I pondered. Let's take it back to camp, I decided. It needs to be further inspected. The skeleton was put in anatomical position, the way you would look upright. It wasn't an animal due to the structure, so it must be a human, right? We didn't find two of the same bone, so there was only one person all alone. Since there were no insect life cycles or a helpful external environment, finding out how long the skeleton was there may be challenging. The skeleton was hidden in quite deep, which may indicate they had quite the long sleep. Now we have to construct a biological autobiography. We need to find the age, sex, stature, and ancestry. We can use our database of skeletons so these things can be easier to determine. The skeleton was compared. Were they a female or were they a male? The pelvis was wider than most of the men, so this old skeleton must be a woman. But was she an adult or was she a child? That was a whole other trial. We need the skull measurements to accurately determine her age. Let's answer that tomorrow, a tired teammate said. We should disengage. When we looked at her the next day, I noticed her bones were fused. She is not a child, I claim. Her bones are not loose. She isn't a senior either, someone disclosed. Look at the pubic symphysis. It's not very coarse. And the manubrium and xiphoid, I said to the others. It's not together, so she isn't an elder. But what was almost fused was her sternum and breastbone. She was probably a young adult when she died, 17 to 20 years old. This is quite the case, I huffed under my breath. There isn't much to work with, another said. Well, maybe a night under the stars will cheer you up, my teammate smiled. We haven't talked or chatted in quite a long while. I love being a forensic anthropologist. It's relaxing to be out in our natural environment. The next day I started with a fresh attitude. The stars last night were really quite the view. We need to determine her race. Well, anthropologists prefer to say ancestry. Races do not exist in the anthropological sense because we don't have much difference, you see. We used our enormous database to compare and determine what she looked like. She's quite similar to the European skeleton. She might have been white. Her bone structure and bone length can determine her stature. Using this formula, height equals 2.47 times 3 length equals 54.10 plus or minus 3.72, we just needed her femur. Someone quickly measure her. It's 39.8 centimeters. So she was probably around 5 foot. That's pretty short, to simply put. Now that we have constructed a biological autobiography, we got her age, sex, stature, and ancestry, we can put her info in and do a background check. Who is it? Everyone was perplexed. Donna Gail Manson, one of Ted Bundy's victims. Ted Bundy is known for being a rapist, a kidnapper, a serial killer, and a necrophilist. Manson was born on June 9, 1954, and died 20 years after that poor girl. Why did she die? What happened? What was her story? Just look at her skeleton. Her pelvis area is very battered and broken. Sounds to me like sexual compulsion. Her chest bones had many dents. This is an indication of extreme violence. Donna Gail Manson was tortured senseless. Her arm bones had many depressions. Her chest bones were in discombobulation, and she experienced sexual aggression. The skull is missing, and that could have told us more. Too bad Bundy had to throw it out the door. Well, not really. He actually cremated it in his girlfriend's destructive bed of coals. Manson just wanted to enjoy a jazz concert, but her life had to be taken by Ted the pervert. But thanks to the power of forensic anthropology, we have found out her heartbreaking story. It is no longer a mystifying mystery. We know what happened in all its gore and glory. Thank you for listening to my terrible song. I hope you learned a thing or two, and sorry if it was long.